Yeah, especially since what made Leslie Nielsen so good is he always played it straight, right? Leslie Nielsen was like, this is the most serious thing that's ever happened to me, while there's like a concrete dildo in his hand and there's like an explosion behind him and his own car is rolling towards like or an orphanage and like it's like that's what made him so funny. He played it like he was in a drama. If I just showed Brenna the hair and the teeth scene, she'd be like, nope, and she'd walk out of it. Like no. She does not do horror movies. She certainly does not do creepy body horror movies. There's 0% chance. I also like, and not to be weird about this, but like Denzel looks good, man.
He does.
If you watch like Gladiator 2, you're like, man, he's turning into like Grandpa Washington. He looks like he got in shape. He looks like he hit the gym. Maybe used a little Just for Men around the hairline. Like he's looking pretty dapper in this. I'm like, man, this is like 2005 Denzel I'm looking at here. I thought he looked pretty trim. All the weird haters that are like, it's like Iron Spider. He should be Spider-Man. He should live in an apartment by himself in New York and have no friends and sew his own costume. So they're like, all right, well, you got it now. You got it, so you better not complain.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's. I'm very excited. I think you hear that Hulk's gonna be in it.
Red Hulk?
No, I think Green Hulk. I think Hulk classic.
Okay. I did not hear that. Of course they're gonna throw another.
Well, every single one of them has had. I think that's one of the deals with Sony is we get an Avenger every time we make a Spider-Man movie.
I thought they were trying to like just go back to the basics and just kind of just keep it just Spider-Man and not bring any of the MCU.
I think Sony is not killing it with their Spider-Verse, so I think they're like, let's throw some more Marvel at the screen and see what sticks.
I mean, their Spider-Mans do well. It's just like their stupid
because
villain
they're Marvel
movies.
in them. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Although the Spider-Verse were great, and who knows how long we have to wait for the third one of those freaking movies to come out.
Yeah, 2 more years, I think.
Ugh, it's ridiculous.
No, but like, it's the Spider-Man movies work. It's just like their stupid villain movies. I mean, yeah, Venom made lots of money, but like what I hear, they're not good.
Venom made a lot of money, but it was terrible. I think each of those movies is worse than the previous one. Like they're all like bad, but I think they get worse. Did you see Morbius? I didn't see Morbius.
No, I did not.
I didn't see Kraven.
I had a mild interest in Kraven, but I was like,
God.
I was like, don't be stupid. You're not seeing.
Dude, I watched the honest trailer, and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't see this movie. Was my takeaway from that? It just looks so bad. And then, I mean, Madame Web, of course.
Yeah, I never saw it. Did you see it?
No, of course not. Come on, man.
I don't know. Well, you see all these.
At the best of times, I'm not a Dakota Johnson fan, and like that movie looks like really not. There's no reason.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get that one, but I hear it's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll get a teaser for Spider-Man this summer.
I don't know where they are in the process.
I think they just started, but still, like, here's the thing, and we're going to talk about teasers in this episode, but like, I miss the day, because they don't do this a lot, where they do a teaser a year out from the movie release. And like, a lot of times, maybe there's no footage, or maybe it's just one shot. Like, those teasers are like, you're like, maybe you don't see it coming. I mean, nowadays, you got the internet, things are put on YouTube before it hits the theaters, but like, I miss those days where it's like, here's a teaser, it's literally coming out 12 months from now, and you're like, holy heck, this looks awesome. Like Dark Knight, I don't think the Dark Knight teaser had any footage. It was just like the bat signal,
flying,
just like
and like I think it was bats flying across the screen, right? And then just
like
formed into the bat signal.
Yeah, and like there's it's like blue, and like there's VO from the Joker, and maybe some VO from other characters too.
Oh right, I'm thinking of the first one. It was like Blue Flame or something, right?
Yeah, Blue Flame. Yeah, it was a Blue Flame.
Yeah.
Like no footage there. You know, it's cooler when you get maybe like one shot or two of like in the teaser, but like those year out teasers are rare now.
Well, I'm gonna shock you and any listener for a moment. I'm gonna talk about Superman. and famously, the teaser for Superman was before before day one of principal photography. I don't think they'd even cast Christopher Reeve yet. They released a teaser, and it was just like Marlon Brando, Gene Hackman, Superman coming soon. It was like they just had like footage from a plane going over clouds, and they just had the titles that came across similar to what they ended up doing in the movie. You know, with the big like coming in from behind you, and like it was literally like, we have Marlon Brando, we have Gene Hackman, we're gonna do Superman, stick around. But there was like no footage. It was way before, and I think that if I'm remembering correctly, they hadn't even cast Christopher Reeve yet. So that's like
but it was his name. Was his name in the?
No, I think it literally said Marlon Brando, Gene Hackman, coming soon, Superman. Yeah, I think that's like literally all it did. I'll have to look. I'll have to look it up, but I think I think that's what it was.
I can picture it. But yeah, like those teasers are really cool. Like where it's just like, holy cow, this is, I mean, and we're gonna talk about teasers and all of these movies. They're when they dropped online, they range from like, I want to say from like 3 to 6, 7 months. The furthest one out is Predator.
Yeah.
But all these other ones are coming out in the summer, and they, I think, drop like maybe within 2 to 3 months. So
Well,
they're
there's a couple
not.
things because it's not only how early is the teaser drop, but it's like how is it that you can show me a teaser and kind of still sometimes give away too much of the movie? We'll talk about that. But it's like
Oh, okay.
it's just a teaser. Why are you giving me so much?
Yeah,
Give me a
yeah,
taste.
yeah.
Just give me a taste.
I know that's the thing. For me, like I think a really good teaser, just like it can get you pumped and excited for it, and that's all you
Yeah.
need. But I
Give
understand
me a
that.
little sense of tone. Give me a little sense of tone. Give me a little, little jolt, and then get the hell out, right?
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then with that, let's just jump into it. Welcome to Trailer Teardowns. We are back with another quick takes episode. This time we're going to look at teaser trailers for 5 different movies. Instead of movies coming out all on one date, these are going to be spread out over the year. So let's dive into it. Patrick, what are the movies we're going to look at?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about 5 movies today. The first one is Eddington, then Together, The Naked Gun. I have thoughts. Highest to Lowest, and Predator Badlands. Those are the 5 we're going to hit today.
All right, so definitely 5 different movies, and let's kick it off with Eddington. So Eddington is directed by Ari Aster, he's directed Midsommar, Hereditary, and Beau is Afraid. This movie starring Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone, and it's coming out July 18th, 2025. So Patrick, what did you think?
First and foremost, it strikes me, and I'm very glad that finally Pedro Pascal is getting some work.
Thank God.
I feel like it's such a shame that he's been so quiet lately. You know what I mean? I want to get him out there. I want America to see what he can do. You know what I mean?
It's his comeback year.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's tired of sitting on the sidelines. In all honesty, like I love that dude, but take a day off, man. Go play with your kids. I don't know if he has kids, but like go live your life a little bit, man. Too much. Yeah. So I have. This doesn't happen to me often. It actually happened twice, I think, on this segment we're going to do. But I don't usually come across a teaser for a movie where I haven't seen anything the director's made. But in this case, I haven't. I never saw Midsommar or Midsommar. I don't even know how you say it. Midsommar.
I think it's Midsommar.
Midsommar. I never saw Hereditary. Never saw Beau is Afraid.
Have you seen those trailers though?
I did a little research for this to watch.
Okay.
I mean, I definitely remember the Midsommar trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a Florence Pugh fan, so I remember being like, oh, that was her first movie. Okay, so I kind of connected that to her. But like, dude, I just, I don't think this is necessarily my jam. This style.
His past films, yeah.
Yeah. And I've talked about this, I think, a little bit before with you, but I'm also not the biggest Joaquin Phoenix fan.
Yep. I remember that.
Everything on him on screen just looks painful. Like like it just looks like it's like a grind to get performance out of him. It just, I don't know, there's something about him, his energy that I don't connect with.
Okay.
The Mandalorian's in it. I might see it for that. But no, my initial reaction to this is I don't necessarily want to watch anything too steeped in current day politics because my God, I need a break from current day politics. And like, and I don't necessarily get a sense of tone or what they're really doing here. It just seems like it's going to be a very depressing, we're all screwed, we're all going to die. Why even drive home? Just die in your seat right here in the movie. I feel like it's gonna be that kind of a movie. So I just, nothing about that really speaks to me. So I think for me, nothing about this grabbed me or made me want to see it. That was my initial reaction to this. And then I was like, let me watch it one more time. And then I was like, nope, my first take was exactly right.
Anything else?
Well,
it's short. I mean, I know. Like,
yeah, I mean, there was just enough.
So you're not intrigued. Nothing in it is like grabbing your interest.
I don't think anything about it like grabbed me as interesting. Like I feel like I either know where they're going with some of this stuff, like Joaquin is trying to like not be an asshole, but he's an asshole, and like Pedro's trying to make a difference, but nobody's listening to him. And like social media is diverting all of our attention to the wrong things. Like I feel like I kind of get it, and if that's not what it is, then the trailer didn't do a good job of telling me what it is. So either way, I'm not like super into it. Like I feel like I get it, and it's not for me. I think.
Got it. Similarly to you, I've never seen any of this director's movies. I've heard good things, but I've heard good things of Midsommar and Hereditary. Beau is Afraid. I've heard mixed things about it, but all of Hereditary is probably something I won't see. It's one of those like, what the heck, disturbing bonkers is this? It's a great freaking trailer. I think it's a really good trailer. But it just looks, it's not in my horror wheelhouse. If you recall, we had a conversation about this stuff on a previous episode. It makes me not want to see it.
But there's no ghosts. I thought ghosts were your
it's not just about ghosts. There's just something wrong with that movie. It's a great trailer. But it's just giving me the opposite effect. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to see it. I do want to see Midsommar. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I think it's his first movie. But yeah,
I'm actually surprised you never saw that movie. I feel like that's up your wheelhouse, like weird horror movie.
Yeah, like he's got like people call it daylight horror because I think like most of that movie's like is in the daylight and people it's like this sort of I don't want to say subgenre of horror, but like it's like they dub it daylight horror. But yeah, I think eventually I'll see it, but Hereditary, no, not for me. And then Beau is Afraid just looks kind of weird. But like all of his movies just have this sort of sense of like they're like have like a horror vibe to it, something horrific, atmospheric to them. And like this kind of has some of that. It's obviously playing off like it's a simple teaser, just a simple, and it kind of like sets the viewer in the mindset of 2020, not a great time. And people just like doom scrolling on their phones during the pandemic and just like what's going on, seeing the news and all that stuff and just like doom scrolling, right? So it kind of I get you get what they're doing there, and the music in that trailer at the end kind of just reinforces that like it just doesn't. Yes, it's probably gonna touch on like political stuff, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna be. I don't know. Again, like I haven't seen any of his movies, so I can't say if he's like, oh, it's definitely in his wheelhouse, but the teaser ends in a way that it's just like has like this weird, eerie horror vibe to it. It's interesting. I don't know if this has any meaning to it, but like the title card of the movie in the trailer where it says Eddington is small, like very small. And I'm like, oh, curious why they did that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's because like truth is lost in like the click this, click that social media stuff, where it's like the thing that matters is like lost and it's just a small little text in the corner. I don't know.
Yeah.
I noticed that too.
Yeah. It was interesting. Usually you kind of want to like in your face, but not much to it, but I feel like it does a good job of just setting you sort of like in this mindset. And I don't think this is obviously not a movie for everyone, but yeah, that's what I kind of took away from it. So where are you at on this? Are you,
I think it's a skip it. I think it's
skip it.
I think it's a pretend it never happened. I think it's someone will talk about this movie in 5 years. I'll be like, I never heard of that movie. It never happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's coming out July 18th, so you'll probably be on your 4th or 5th rewatch of Superman at that point.
If it's bad. If it's good, 9th or 10th.
Okay, all right. For me, I mean, I'd want to see more. TBD. I know that's not like an official trailer Teardowns rating, but I'd see the next trailer just to see what it's like. See more of it. So TBD right now.
Well, to be clear, I could have my mind changed by a really good trailer or like really great word of mouth, but I'm just
but you don't. So, but you don't like Joaquin. So you're
I don't.
But you would see a movie if it looks good with him, or word of mouth.
I mean, I saw Joker. I regretted it almost instantly, but I saw Joker. So certain movies I'll be like, well, let me see if I can handle the Joaquin. Let me see if I can keep the Joaquin down. But sometimes.
All right. Well, then I guess just to kind of like keep it in line with our sort of guidelines, I would stream it.
Okay.
I'm curious to see where this movie takes, what happens. Curious. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Next one.
All right, so next movie is Together, directed by Michael Shanks. Not Michael Shank singular, but Michael Shanks plural. Easy mistake to make. Michael Shanks singular is best known for the TV show Stargate SG-1, which I know you're not a fan of, Angel.
That is correct.
I believe he played the David Spader role, the nerd with glasses. But it's not him. It's Michael Shanks, who, as near as I can tell, is about a 15-year-old director, and I think this is his first movie, his first feature at least. Starring Dave Franco and Alison Brie, comes out on July 30th. So we're in the July era of releases here. And Angel, what was your response to this trailer? I feel like you liked this trailer, but I don't know what I'm basing it. I want to hear your take. What's your take? Lay it on me.
So yeah, when this came out, this first teaser came out, I want to say in March. A lot of buzz on the movie. I played at Sundance, got a big purchase from Neon, horror movie, weird, very creepy, and all that. So I was like, "Ooh, this sounds interesting. Can't wait to see something for it." So I saw this teaser and I was like, "Whoa, what the F," right? I really I mean, this is out of all the teasers that we're doing today, this one's the longest and it shows the most, but I think it still leaves a lot of questions, which is what I think a good teaser should do. Really dug how the trailer's constructed. It sets the tone at the beginning, but it's really not what the tone of the movie is. It starts with this, like, I don't know, the composer of that piano track that they use, but I don't know if it's like a Beethoven or Mozart, whatever it is. Soft piano. You see this couple shots of this happy couple, maybe moving into a house, holding hands, and then we start seeing some weird moments. We see two dogs just staring at each other in the woods. Dave Franco's pulling this long string of hair out of his mouth. It's like, what is that?
Good. Yeah, no good. No, thank you.
There's Alison Brie's character. It seems like she's a teacher. She sees a kid's drawing on a desk of two kids sort of melding together, and then the piano music gets all chord heavy, and the teaser brings in more of the bonkers. At 47 seconds, there's this flash of this creepy looking lady sitting on a bed in this like green lighting. There's night vision footage of like bloody arms just kind of like caressing each other. Alison Brie's doing possessed gymnastics roll. I don't know if that's an official movement in gymnastics, Patrick. I don't know if you have an insight there. There's an alien-looking hole orifice. We see Dave Franco convulsing in the shower and just like, I don't know if he's having an orgasm or what, but something's happening there. And then the button shot of the teaser. There's like two eyeballs melding together. Lots of WTF moments. Yeah, so I really like the trailer.
I knew it.
It's just super creepy. A lot of great visuals. Like, I'm just like, what is going on? I don't want to see more. Even the title card together is like melding together. So you're kind of like, I'm already sort of theorizing like, what's going on? Is this couple gonna turn into one person? I don't know. There's just weird things going on. What do you think?
I think it was a really good trailer. I think the tone is very clear. Like even from the beginning when they seem like happy, there's like a minor chord to that music, and you know like this is not a happy real life couple that get to make a movie together kind of movie, right? Even the way, like when they're going for a walk, something about the way that their fingers, like when they hold hands, something about like the speed or like the effect of the way the hands kind of hold each other is very kind of creepy, and I think is a bit of like coming together, which obviously is the recurring theme here. You mentioned the two dogs that are staring at each other. And then later on, Allison looks at like a child's drawing of two dogs whose like faces kind of mushing together, right?
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, listen, I know what you know, but based on this trailer, it seems to me like this is like a metaphor for like a codependent relationship, right? Or something like that, where it's like they're gonna, in some like weird body horror way, gonna kind of fuse together and become one creature or something. You know, like I think there's like the way their eyes are coming together. It seems to me like there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think you like the trailer maybe more than you'll like the movie if you find out there's a demon or a ghost or a possession involved. You might go running for the hills, because I don't know what justification they use for this weird. I'm assuming it's a body. I get the vibe that it's body horror based on the way
that's
shot.
you know, from what I read when it was acquired, they described it as a body horror movie. So
and you know, that long a string of hair going through someone's front teeth is body horror as far as I'm concerned. I was like, no, oh god.
Right. Great.
So yeah, so I think it was a really well done trailer. I think the tone was really clear right from the beginning. I think they did just enough of like, I don't know what's going on, but it's really creepy, but I get a sense of what they're saying. And like I said, to me, it seems, I could be wrong, it seems like it's a codependent metaphor kind of thing. So I feel like I'm very clear on what they're doing. So yeah, I think it was a very successful trailer in that way. I think I would be curious to see what a full trailer looks like, and what maybe a little more of a sense of like what the plot is around which they're setting these themes, you know. But it seems I thought it was a very well made trailer that really kind of evoked a kind of crawling out of your skin kind of vibe, which is obviously what they're going for. So I think it was excellent. Yeah.
I think the crawling out of your skin for sure. Great great description. Great. Like, yeah, I don't think this is a movie for everyone.
No.
But instantly when I heard about it, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what this is going to be about. And then saw the teaser. I was like, oh, I'm intrigued. It just really gives you whole sense. There's like no dialogue, which is like or even voiceover use, if I recall,
No, I don't think so.
in the trailer. So like sometimes like when they use dialogue in trailers, like you kind of giving too much away, even if it's just a few lines of dialogue, and you're like, oh, okay, whatever. This is just a classic sort of music, images, montage, boom.
Yeah, and both of them are really good actors, so it's like they're leaning on that a little bit too, where they're like, we don't need you to hear them talk. You know that if we give them something to do, they'll carry it. That these two can. It's not like you're trying to sell me on the performances, at least not in the teaser.
Yeah, and they're a real life couple too.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's interesting job that they're doing together in this, or they'll bring some reality into it.
Yeah, or end the relationship if it goes badly. We'll see.
Cool. So am I going first? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see it in theaters. I'm there.
Whoa, they got you hook, line, and sinker, huh?
Yeah. I'm pumped. I'm excited.
I'm gonna pull an angel. I need to see more. More. Here's my issue with these kinds of movies, just to be transparent. I feel like often these are the kind of movies where the trailer is better than the movie, or like the concept behind the movie is better than the movie.
Yeah.
So I typically wouldn't be like, I'm gonna run to the movie to see this tonally interesting horror movie. I'm usually like a stream it for these kinds of things. When I was living in New York, there was a different vibe, and it was like I kind of wanted to see a whole theater full of people scream and flinch and like where I live now in LA, it doesn't. I don't feel that same kind of communal movie watching experience, or maybe it's just because I'm an old man now and I'm grumpy, and I just don't get that same vibe. So for me, there's not as much draw to get to the theater for a movie like this, and I think. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that this might be one of those movies where it's like it had really interesting ideas and a couple of cool scenes, but like a lot of times you look back at a movie that in this genre and you're like, well, it doesn't really hold together. Like this kind of doesn't make sense, and this kind of makes usually there's a lot of those kind of moments. So it's a streamer for me, I think, given my history with these kinds of movies.
Okay, cool. Well, there is a full trailer out. I have not seen it. I've been kind of like resisting.
We were doing this.
I was resisting, and I'm trying to resist on seeing it. So,
and interestingly, there's a lawsuit against this movie right now. Did you know that?
I heard about that on I heard about it on a podcast.
Someone's claiming that they've basically lifted the whole movie from an independent movie from 2023. Like this is like copying that. I guess that was like more of a dark comedy. So obviously tonally it's different, but I guess like the premise and the plot and like the ideas were so there's a lawsuit pending. Now that could be somebody crazy just trying to get some money. But
yeah, hopefully this doesn't derail the release, but let the law settle it out. If you were to see this, regardless, theaters, stream it, are you watching it with Brenna?
No.
It feels like a date movie.
Maybe it feels like a date movie for you. Brenna if I just showed Brenna the hair and the teeth scene, she'd be like, nope, and she'd walk out of it. Like there's no. She does not do horror movies. She certainly does not do creepy body horror movies. There's 0% chance. If I told her it's a really good indie film that got all this attention and it's a really romantic, like they're a real life couple and it's really cute and sweet, she'd give it 10 minutes and then be like, "This, you lied to me," and walk out of the room. And it's not. I don't think it would ever happen. I would have to be on a date with you, Angel, to have this be a date movie.
Yeah, that I was gonna say. Yeah, you can try to trick her. Oh, it's about a couple that's trying to rekindle their relationship. It's a Sundance, hit indie movie.
Based on the trailer, I think we could make it 10 minutes into the movie before she was like, "You lied to me. There's no way this is a romantic comedy."
That's funny. Yeah, same.
There'll be something creepy at the 10-minute mark. There will. Like whatever the inciting incident's gonna be, it's gonna be a little bit like weird, and she'll be like, "All right, I'm out."
You should show her the trailer after this. I'm curious to hear how far she gets in it.
Yeah, I bet she doesn't finish the trailer. I bet she goes, "Nope, nope, nope," and I bet it's the hair and the teeth. I bet
that's pretty gross.
As far as we get. If we make it to the eyeball, she's definitely out. That would definitely be it.
All right, what's next? Okay, cool. All right, we've got something a little bit lighter now. The Naked Gun, the remake or reboot, not remake. It's actually not a remake. Reboot.
No, it's like a sequel, like a legacy sequel. They call it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, requel, whatever. Okay, cool. Naked Gun. Directed by Akiva Schaffer. He's 1/3 of Lonely Island. The last thing he directed was the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers Disney Plus movie. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Did you see it?
I did see it.
I wanted to see it. I remember seeing the trailer. I was like, oh, that looks kind of fun, but I never saw it. Is it good?
Um, it's a mixed bag, but the parts of it that are good are really good. I
Okay.
actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I kind of went in there expecting it to be, a cash grab for 1/3 of Lonely Island, but it had a lot of fun. I'll let you finish up and then we'll go back to it. But I'll tell you what, there's some fun stuff in that movie.
Okay. I loved Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers when I was a kid, so I kind of forgot about it. Okay. This movie starring Liam Neeson, Paul Walter Hauser, Pamela Anderson, and a few others. It is coming out August 1st. Patrick, what'd you think?
So here's the thing. I am a very big Naked Gun and From the Files of Police Squad fan, like the original Police Squad.
Mhm.
I'm a Leslie Nielsen fan. I think it's a very tough act to follow, right? Best case scenario, it's a very tough act to follow. Put anybody else in a Police Squad movie or a Naked Gun movie. But I like to be open minded, so I sit down and watch this trailer. And like I said, I did enjoy the Rescue Rangers movie. I also was a huge fan of Rescue Rangers as a kid. 90% of it's probably that theme song. That theme song was a banger, Angel.
It was. Yes, it was.
But the funniest thing about the Rescue Rangers movie, just as a little sidebar here, is they actually one of the characters in that movie is Ugly Sonic. If you remember when the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, they had the first teaser come out, and there was like this huge uproar about how like
Oh,
that doesn't look like
yes. They had the
Sonic. He's
bad
got these
teeth.
weird
Yeah.
teeth and all.
Yeah.
So that version of Sonic is actually a character in this movie, and they call him Ugly Sonic, which is kind
That's
of
funny.
hilarious. This is like a Roger Rabbit type movie where cartoons are all alive in the real world. So
Okay.
he basically got recast. He got like fired from that movie. Is like the storyline. It's very funny.
That's funny.
But anyway, so and he directed Popstar, which is an Andy Samberg vehicle, which is
hmm
a nothing movie, but Andy Samberg's funny, and he directed some Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm a big fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So there's a sense of humor here that I have vibed with in the past.
hmm
Um, a couple things in this trailer that I think really worked. I think it's kind of funny and it's very Naked Gun. That like there's no attempt to be made for how Liam Neeson changes his height or hides his body. It's just like he takes the mask off and stands up. There's just something very Naked Gun about that I think is funny.
hmm
I didn't expect him to go so hardcore with his like murdering of the. It's like Naked Gun by way of John Wick when he's like
Yes.
killing people with like a lollipop and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's fun. It's fun. I think the best part of the teaser for me was everybody like he's like talking to his dad Frank Drebin, and then what's his name next to him is talking to his dad.
Yeah.
And they show the whole line of cops crying in front of their dad portraits, and then
In
of
the
course
Hall
there's
of
the OJ
Legends.
bit,
Yeah.
and then this OJ bit, which is quite funny. I think there's some stuff in here that feels a little bit tonally accurate, and there's some stuff that doesn't. And for me, Liam Neeson turning to the camera and saying like the new one is like, and I'm sure that's just for the trailer. I'm sure that's not in the movie, or maybe it is. Maybe that's the cold open because if you remember the first one, there's like a never catch you guys in America, and like it starts with like a cold open and then goes to the theme song, which I'm
hmm
sure they'll do. I'm sure they'll have the police siren and the music, and he's driving onto all these weird places, but
Yeah.
something about that just read very like we're trying really hard to be funny. We're trying really hard to like wink at the camera, and it's like not gonna work. Especially with Liam Neeson, who's like, if we learned anything from the Ricky Gervais AIDS sketch, if you remember that from when Ricky Gervais did a scene with Liam Neeson years ago, and Liam Neeson is playing it so straight and dry. Do you remember that? Where he's like, I have full blown AIDS. Do you remember that scene? It's hilarious.
Wait, but what was that from?
I believe it was from Life is Short, the Warwick Davis show.
Okay.
Remember
I think I may.
It's either from that or it's from something before that. But I think it was that. But anyway, he's like meeting with Ricky. Ricky's playing like a version of himself, and he's talking about how like I want to get into comedy. And he's like,
Oh,
and he's
yes,
like,
yes,
I'm good
yes,
at
yes.
improv. I'm good at improv. He's like, okay, let's do some
Yes.
improv. And so he's like supposed to be grocery shopping, and he goes up to the cashier. He's like, how's your day going? Not so good. I just found my doctor just called. It turns out I have AIDS. And it's like the whole, it's like that's like his improv.
Yeah.
And he's
Mhm.
just so serious and he's like doing like the full Schindler's List like growl, and it was just very funny.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of his wheelhouse. So to see him like trying to be like winking at the camera and goofy, I'm a little nervous about.
And smiling.
Especially,
Yeah.
yeah, especially since what made Leslie Nielsen so good is he always played it straight, right? Leslie Nielsen was like, "This is the most serious thing that's ever happened to me." While there's like a concrete dildo in his hand, and there's like an explosion behind him, and his own car is rolling towards like or an orphanage and like it's like that's what made him so funny. He played it like he was in a drama. So to see Liam kind of winking at the camera, I feel like is kind of not what I want out of
Yeah.
this movie. So there's that, and then there's I think I feel like something about the way that they end this trailer is just like they think it's funnier than I do. They think like they stuck the landing. Something about like and again I like the OJ bit, but again it ends with a fourth wall break, and I just think it's like I wish they were taking their cue a little more from the original trilogy, which is like we know that this is ridiculous. Nobody in the movie thinks this is ridiculous. These are life or death stakes for the characters in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's like the Naked Gun, you know. So for me, it kind of did a couple things well, but overall, I'm kind of thinking not so much. And I think like the up skirt show his underwear bit is kind of easy. I think that's low hanging fruit,
I caught it.
Testicular fruit. You know,
I grabbed it. I laughed.
You grabbed, yeah. All right, so maybe this movie's made for Angel. He liked it. All right, yeah.
I mean,
what do you think?
For me, not much to say. I mean, I laughed at all the jokes. All the jokes that they threw out. I laughed. I get what you're saying about Liam Neeson here. Like he's kind of like mugging to the camera and just like maybe. So I'm curious if he can fully pull off this kind of humor for like 90 minutes. When he did Taken, that was like a surprise. Like you never seen him do that, right? Like before, he was like, oh, now he's like this like kind of older action star, and like you never seen him do that, and he's just like awesome at it, and like he did a run of basically doing the same kind of movies over and over,
right?
And he was like badass. So now like seeing him to do like, do this kind of comedy, like it's like okay, let's see if he can pull it off. But again, I laughed at all the jokes, and I've seen the teaser in theaters, and it plays well. The audience, I think the biggest laugh is the OJ joke there. I don't recall the movies very well. Like, do they break the fourth wall?
Yeah, but like they'll break the fourth wall when like Leslie Nielsen is like talking to Priscilla Presley, and he's got his refrigerator open, and there's a piece of Chinese food that's kind of moving on its own behind him, and he'll look at the camera like, what the hell is that? But he's not like, look how funny we are. He's not like sharing the joke with us. He's kind of just like, did you see what I saw? He's kind of playing it straight.
Yeah. No, I get that. Like the playing it straight, I do. It's been a while since I've seen the originals, but yeah, I mean, I forget if I saw this teaser first in theaters or if I saw it online. So I wasn't sure what to expect when I saw this, but yeah, I laughed. I'm intrigued. I'll just kind of like go right into I don't really have much to say on it, but I'll see it in theaters because I it's been a while since I've seen a straight up comedy in theaters. Like I mean, there's like action comedies and horror comedies and whatever, but like I feel like something just like 100% like intended for just like gonna laugh like hopefully throughout. It's been a while. Those are fun in theaters. And I'd hate to say like, oh, I'd see more. Let me see more, because I feel like the next trailer for this is just going to like give away too many of the jokes. And that's just the fear. And then you're like, okay. Then you see it in theaters and it's like, well, I laughed already. So I would say it in theaters. What about you?
For me, I think it's probably going to be a streamer. I could be talked into the theater. Like I'm not like definitely dismissing it, but I feel like to me, it brings it. You know what it made me think of, and I couldn't think of it until right now. It made me think of that Seth MacFarlane movie he was in, A Million Ways to Die in the West. Remember that movie?
I remember it. Didn't see it.
Yeah, it feels similar to that to me, where it's going to be like a couple of funny parts. Most of it's trying too hard and kind of falls flat, and it's like, it's like the equivalent of like the vaudeville, fill in time dancing tap dance. Like, am I funny yet? Am I funny yet? Am I funny yet? And it's like I just think it's not gonna play. It's not gonna tickle me the way that I would like it to. And then and the thing is, like, I have such love of the Naked Gun movies that I'm like, it's kind of like Indiana Jones. It's like, you make another one, sure, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna stay home and watch Raiders. I feel like I could just stay home and watch the original, or 2.5, which is funny too. Like I could just watch the originals. But like I said, I could be convinced otherwise, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope when I stream it, I'm like, oh man, this is great. That's happened to me before. It happened to me with 21 Jump Street. I remember thinking that there's no way this movie's funny. And then when I streamed it, or at the time rented it, and I was like, this is hilarious. And then I was there for 22 Jump Street in theaters, So I've been wrong before.
I mean, I'd said I sit in theaters, but like I'd be curious to see what the reviews like. Because like a comedy with just terrible reviews is just like, it's just probably not going to be good. So I say right now theaters, but it could be changed. I could maybe like skip it or wait for streaming, or just not.
I feel like everybody's trying to revisit everything and very rarely works. I think Top Gun Maverick is one of the few examples of like you go back at it to the well and it actually works. Like usually you get your Axel Foley's, right? Or you get your Coming to America, not to harp on poor Eddie twice in a row, but like that's what I'm thinking of at the moment. It's just like, or you get your Dial of Destiny. It's like you just get too many times you go back and there's nothing left in the tank, So I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is hilarious because I like Liam Neeson. It just doesn't feel to me like this is his skill set, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know that. Maybe I'm wrong because, like I said, there were elements in Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers that I really loved. Now, had I if I paid full price and saw that in theaters, I might feel differently about it. I don't know. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully they found like a way in and a reason to do this, and like a style and a tone that's worth sitting for 90 minutes in.
Yeah, I think the plus, I think maybe like in the pro side of this is the director. He's got some comedy chops and does like not just like your generic comedies of like grown ups and Adam Sandler type comedies, where it's just like, oh come on, this is not gonna be good.
He's got cop comedy experience. I mean, he directed Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is very.
It is funny.
There are moments in that are very kind of Naked Gun-ish, right? Like where like a couple of characters are playing it really straight, but the situation is ridiculous. Like that, there's a little crossover there.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Would you watch the next trailer to maybe help you decide, like push you over the edge, or would you like?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm only giving my rating based on this trailer, right?
True.
So I'm like, stream it. If the next one's freaking hilarious, I might change my mind, right?
Yeah. All right.
I mean, to your point, often with comedies, trailers are tough because it's like the two biggest laughs in the movie I saw in the trailer is usually how that goes, right? So so it's more likely that the trailer will hurt the movie for me. But I'm open to having my mind changed.
All right. Well, we'll see where it goes. A couple months, so we'll see. All right.
Yeah.
On to the next. Okay, cool.
Time for a Spike Lee joint.
Oh yeah, Highest to Lowest, directed by Spike Lee, starring your boy Denzel Washington, Jeffrey Wright, and ASAP Rocky. This movie's coming out in theaters on August 22nd to 2025, but it is also going to Apple TV Plus just a few weeks later on September 5th, which is pretty lame.
Yeah, that's pretty lame. That is not a lot of confidence in your movie there, guys. Yeah, I think this is a tough one, right? For me, I don't know how you feel about Spike Lee. For me, he's very hit and miss. When he hits it, it's like great American classics, and when he misses, it's like I don't know how I'm gonna get those 2 hours back. And I feel like there's a couple things I like here. I like, first of all, James Brown, good choice of music. Immediately gives it some energy and some punch, and makes me think like, oh, this is something classic here, something interesting here. I also like, and it, not to be weird about this, but like Denzel looks good, man. Like I feel like if you watch like Gladiator 2, you're like, man, he's turning into like Grandpa Washington. He's starting, but like he looks like he got in shape. He looks like he hit the gym. Maybe used a little Just for Men around the hairline. Like he's looking pretty dapper in this. I'm like, man, this is like 2005 Denzel I'm looking at here. I thought he looked pretty trim. And I'm a big Denzel fan, so I like that. I like Jeffrey Wright. There's a lot about the cast I like. I'll be honest with you, Ange. No idea what this movie's about. No idea. This trailer gave me. I mean, and maybe that wasn't the intent. Maybe it was like, hey, it's Spike Lee. It's cool. There's interesting music. There's fun. It's city. There's money. There's more money, more problems. Hey, come see the movie. I don't know. I don't know what. I just don't really know like what this is. Right. I mean, the name makes me think that it's going to be somebody that has a big fall from grace of some kind. Right. Somebody that hits the high and then gets knocked into the gutter. But I don't know if we're talking about the music industry. If we're talking about like drugs. If we're talking about like where that cash come from, how did things get so bad? What's the pressure that he's talking about? I just don't know. So I'm intrigued. I mean, if the point of the teaser is to be like, oh, I want to learn more about this movie, then that worked. If the point of the teaser is I got to see that movie, then I don't know, because to me it's like I still have more question marks than excitement. But I certainly lean forward to watch it. Like it got me interested. How about you? What'd you think?
Yeah, like I agree. You don't kind of know what the movie's about, but I don't think it's about selling what the movie's about. I think the point of this teaser is all about hyping up the Denzel Spike Lee reunion, because it's been, I think Inside Man maybe it was like their last movie together.
Probably. Yeah.
And I like that. Like they're like two heavyweights. Boom. They've made some great films together, and I like that's basically the selling point, which I dug. I dug. And then again, like we talked about at the top of the recording, teasers are all about the hype and giving a small taste of what's to come. And this is, I think, just like the hype teaser for this movie. What I know about it, it's a remake of a Kurosawa movie called High and Low, which I've never seen, but that's also based on a book as well too. So it's based on so no idea what it's about, but kind of like you can sort of glean like, oh, it's a rise and fall of somebody. It does seem like it's set in the music industry. A$AP Rocky is a rapper, so
see, I'm learning something
playing
new.
into that. I really like how they use Denzel's voiceover and cut against the montage of images. It seems like they use different parts of like dialogue for maybe different scenes, as opposed to like maybe like one like monologue. But it's done really well, and I like when he kind of like gets in. There's a point in it where he gets like really, he ups the rhythm, and he's like almost like, I don't want to say he's rapping, but it's just like, when you get the money and to do this, and it just like flows really fast and like in sync with the cuts, and it's just, you're just seeing all these flashes of things and police and New York City, and he's walking through the subway and maybe chasing, there's a flash of a gun, and there's a lot of action activity going on, and I think it plays really well together with how they cut the voiceover. So I'm intrigued as well. I like Denzel a lot. Similarly, hit or miss for Spike Lee, but I feel like he does make some interesting, like I feel like a lot of his like, oh, that looks like he doesn't seem to do the same thing over and over. Maybe he uses same cast and all that, but they all work together. Denzel does sometimes. I feel like maybe he has sort of a type where he kind of plays maybe slivers of the same character, sort of that over bravado character, like you see it in his character from Training Day, and that kind of just carries over in a lot of his other roles since then, but he does that really well, and I think it's a lot of charisma and it makes you kind of want to see him do that. I like that.
I mean, that's the Denzel brand, right? It's like he's a movie star. Like movie stars, you go there to see Denzel, right? Which is, I think, why a lot of Gladiator 2 didn't work for me, because it's like, it's just Denzel in ancient Rome. It's kind of weird, like I think Denzel in the streets talking about money and fame. It's like like you said, fast talking with all that charisma and all that newly back in shape svelteness he's got going here. I think that's Denzel. That's what I want to watch. That's what I want to show. I mean, he's in the vein of like your Jack Nicholson's, where it's like you're showing up to watch this person in like this is who he is, right? And so so I'm intrigued. I'm interested. In terms of what I'm gonna do with this, I don't know, man. I think I want to say theater, but if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, it might be a stream for me, because I don't know that I'm 100% sold, because it feels like it might be a movie we've seen before. Do you know what I mean? It feels like it might be hitting notes that have been hit a lot. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's more interesting than that.
Yeah. Right now, I'll see it in theaters just because like this is coming out toward the end of the summer. It's gonna be a lot of like superhero movies, big action movies. I feel like it could be a nice, like, I don't want to say palate cleanser, but just like a different vibe, different something different. So I'm interested.
So like in between viewings of Superman, you mean? Like you see Superman once, then you
exactly.
Superman. Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Right now I'll see it in theaters. Check it out. It's gonna be in theaters for a short time. But, if I don't see it in theaters, I'll definitely catch it on the Apple TV Plus.
All right, so that takes us to our last trailer for this episode, which is Predator: Badlands, directed by Dan Trachtenberg, starring Elle Fanning. You know you're old when Elle Fanning looks like a grown-up. Demetrius Schuster, I don't know how to say that name. Angel, I should have let you do this. I didn't do any research. Ahead of time.
Oh, good. No. Demetrius Schuster, Kolo Amantangi.
Okay, good. Sorry. So neither of us prepped. Great. Sorry, Demetrius. It's going to be released on November 7th, so a little bit more of a wait for this one. Ange, what did you think of this? I want to hear your take first on
Sure.
Predator: Badlands.
All right, I'll start with, I really liked Prey. When that came out, dropped on, I think it just came out in Hulu, if I recall. It was just a streaming-only movie, and it was surprisingly good. Good take on the Predator franchise. Something different, a place we've never seen before, seeing the Predator character in that setting. So going in, into this teaser, I was like, I'm already looking forward to this. I can't, the Predator Badlands. Even the title's like awesome. But after I saw the teaser, I was like, nothing actually grabbed me. Like I was like, oh, it wasn't all that exciting. I know it's a teaser, but nothing sort of like lifted my skirt in a way.
In a way.
So it's like, I dug the look of the new Predators that we do see. But I very much dislike the CG face head of the Predator yelling at the head. I'm like, dude, guys, like we have awesome makeup artists like that do kick-ass practical effects. Like, why are we doing a CG head here? And then the button shot of like the snake vines flying in the woods and he's slicing them. It just looks like Avatar footage to me. It just looks like everything's just CG there. I'm like, oh, what happened to what we did before? I mean, granted, maybe this is in it's a different settings and more of an alien planet, but like, I don't know. So that doesn't really excite me too much, but I am intrigued that it seems like they're doing something different from like a story angle. It seems like the story's going to be more from the POV of the Predator, or he's a co-protagonist with Elle Fanning's character. So that's kind of intriguing. The music that they use in the trailer, I think, or the teaser is really cool and kind of set like a nice vibe. But yeah, so nothing really grabbed me there, so that was kind of like a little bit of a letdown. What'd you think?
Yeah, so huge fan of Predator. Huge defender of Predator 2. I actually love Predator 2. It's not nearly as good as the first one, but there's a lot of good stuff in it that I think people often forget about.
Yeah.
I just love the Predator stuff. And I wish there had been a way, I would have probably been like an early test screening of it or something. I wish there was a way I could have sat down and watched Prey not knowing it was a Predator movie. Because it was done so well, and by the time you actually get to, there's like a moment, even knowing what it was, I was like, oh, here's a Predator. It's a Predator. I almost like was reminded that it was, because they did such a good job of building the world separate from that. And I loved I just loved that they actually leaned into the, authenticity is probably the wrong word because I don't know enough to know that it was authentic, but it felt like we were actually with these people who weren't speaking English, who weren't Western, who were, or they were original Western, I should say. Like it felt very period and interesting and lived in. And then there was a Predator, which is exactly what the first one did. The first one was like, it's an Arnold movie, man. It's like, what's his fucking tie business, Bennett? And then they go on this commando raid, and he's throwing knives at people, and be like, stick around. And then all of a sudden, his team's just getting killed off, and it becomes like almost a horror movie for like 30 minutes, and then and then it's him versus the Predator. It like comes at you, not unexpectedly because you know what you're walking into, but it does a really good job of establishing who these people are and why we care about them before they just start getting mowed down by a Predator, which is why I think the first one was so good. So yeah, I loved Prey, loved it. I thought it was genius, and I like, the fact that obviously there's CG at play, but I think there was enough practical stuff. I think it was if it wasn't a practical mask, it felt like it was, and so yeah, so I then I see this teaser, and it's like he didn't learn any of the lessons that we've learned, because this franchise has been around for a while, right?
Yeah.
In Alien versus Predator, we found out, dude, it's a bad idea to put these guys on camera the whole time. Like, we don't want the Predator in the daylight walking around a lot. You don't want him to be the star. Like in Alien vs. Predator, I don't know if you remember that movie, but there's like, he like makes a truce with a human to fight with her, and it's like, dude, no, like this is not the Predator's just a killing machine that you don't see until he comes out of the jungle, and all of a sudden you get, you figure out how to fight back. Like that's, not that you have to make the same movie every time, but it's like, when I see what's under the hood, it's not as interesting, right? And I don't like that. And then, if you remember the movie Predators with Adrian Brody, they go to a alien planet where there's like predator dogs and predator this and that, and predators fighting each other, and two different breeds of and it's just like so much, and it's very CG heavy, and it's very like trying to be badass action, but really it just feels like this is not interesting.
I enjoyed Predators.
Oh, I had a lot of problems with Predators, but this just feels like it's kind of that again. It feels like we're gonna follow this young Predator who's gonna be on this world that's like dangerous, but you don't believe the danger because none of it looks photoreal. And then it's like, but it's okay because Elle Fanning's here, but she's maybe a robot, which has got shades of like Alien. So so it's just nothing about this, to put it the way you put it. Nothing about this grabbed me, and I also I don't love the lightsaber fight that apparently two Predators are having with like these red swords. It's too It's too front and center. Like I like what you guys disappear. Use your camo. Like show me some Predator stuff. Like none of this felt like Predator. It felt like things that kind of looked vaguely like Predators who were doing like a Lord of the Rings fight. Like it didn't feel like a Predator movie. And again, I don't want to sound like I expect you to make 1987's Predator every time you make a Predator movie. But like I thought Prey worked really, really well. And nothing about this seems like it was made by the same person. Nothing about this seems like it was made by a person that understands why that worked. And maybe that's intentional. Maybe they're like, I'm gonna do a whole new thing, and it like the way Cameron did with Aliens. Maybe it's like I'm gonna show totally genre shift, and yes, it's the same world, but it's not gonna feel like the same movie, and maybe it's gonna be great. But I don't feel like anything about Predator who just went through puberty is gonna carry a film. I'm not terribly excited.
Yeah, I feel like again, this is just a 60-second long teaser. More to come, more to see. But yeah, just for it just feels like they've went back 5 steps.
Yeah,
and just sort of like are doing like what they did with AVP and just like But I did, and obviously this is sort of just to bring out the nerds and the conspiracy theorists and all that like that. I think it's early. It's one of the earlier shots. Did you catch the Independence Day alien skull exoskeleton in the trophy room?
Yeah, I did. And I noticed that they intentionally didn't put a xenomorph in there because they're like, they don't want to remind you of that, but they're kind of doing the same thing. It's like I don't know that I need this tied to ID4 any more than I need it tied to Alien. Like that's the same effect. I'm like, what the hell are we doing here?
I mean, I liked it. I was like, at first I was like, oh wait, is that the alien? Is that from Independence Day?
Yeah, and then there's a tiny T-Rex skull, so it's like, don't worry, we've killed Jurassic Park and we've killed ID4. Like we're in all the movies. We're in all the. They might as well just have Jaws hanging in this trophy room. Like, let's put every blockbuster movie in here.
I like that, but yeah, it's like, what is that? Okay, now is this like an extended universe with Independence Day? It's like, okay, not that we need that, but yeah. What else do I have here to say about that? Nothing else. So right now, I'm gonna see it in theaters because it is a Predator movie.
Man, what a turn!
But I'm cautious about it. So
yeah, I got burned by Shane Black. I was all excited to go see the Predator in theaters because I was like, oh, it's great. He was in the original cast. He came back to direct one, and he's gonna fix all the mistakes and make this great. And I went to see it, and oh man, that was an awful experience. So based on this teaser, I am streaming it, and I'm probably streaming it in pieces. I'm gonna stream it for 20 minutes, then take a break and reflect on my life choices, and then watch the rest. I'll probably have to watch it that way. I hope I'm wrong. I mean. Prey was so good that I hope I'm wrong and that there's something really interesting here. But none of it is evident in a single frame of this teaser for me.
Understood. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's that. Those are our 5 teasers. All teasers. Variety movies coming out over the next 6 to 7 months. Speaking of teasers, do you think we'll get a teaser this summer for a 2026 movie?
Yes.
Like what do you think it's gonna be? I have an idea.
You have an idea?
I have an idea of a movie that I could see them doing a teaser for.
Well, I feel like there has to be something for Spider-Man before the summer's over. I could be wrong.
When's
I
that
feel like there has
coming
to be
out?
something.
Spider-Man.
When's that coming out? Or is that That's not 2027. That's 2026. Right?
No, it's 2026. It's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I feel like there has to be something there. Sony wants you to remember to give them your money. They're like they don't want you to forget them. What was your idea?
Well, I think Spider-Man is like about to start shooting or has just recently started shooting, so that could be maybe like a tough one. But again, it could be like what we talked about at the beginning. Maybe they just show a couple shots. They reuse a bunch of maybe just footage, leftover New York City footage, and then it's like there's Peter Parker walking through the city and nobody knows him, whatever. I think they'll have a teaser for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Because that movie's been shooting for months now. And it's Nolan. It's his next movie, next big summer movie.
Does he cut his own trailers, though? Does he cut his own trailers, or does he not?
I don't know if he cuts his own trailers, but Universal's got Jurassic World Rebirth coming out in a little over a month. So Prime, everyone's going to go see that. It's going to be a big turnout for that movie. Prime place to put a teaser for the Odyssey. I'm putting money on it.
All right, that's a good bet. I'll tell you what, we're not going to get a teaser for, but I wish we would.
What?
Voltron. I'm like dying to know what the hell this movie's going to look like, because like it's the weirdest hodgepodge of like talent. I don't know what's. I'm kind of like I want to see a couple of frames.
I don't get it either.
It feels like it's a gag, like a movie they didn't really make. I kind of can't believe it. So I want to.
Yeah, like there, because like isn't. I mean, I watched Voltron when I was younger. Like, weren't they kids? Like
they
young,
weren't
like
kids. They weren't
not. I feel like they were younger. Like,
I mean, they definitely had that young vibe, but they were like,
yeah, but they weren't like Sterling K. Brown's age. I mean, I don't know if he's like one of the.
My guess is he's like the guy who runs the castle. I don't know how much you remember Voltron, but there's like a guy who runs like the castle, which is like actually a spaceship that holds all the lions. My nerddom is showing here, but my guess is he's that character.
Okay.
And it would be cool if Henry Cavill was like a bad guy, because I feel like we don't need him to be like another like save the universe type right now. He's probably like Keith, who was like the Black Lion, like But no, I feel like they were all like they were space adventurers. They were like all pilots. They were all supposed to be like great pilots in like the fringes of outer space. So they have to be like somewhat adult.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean like elementary or even like
no, I know,
middle school. I meant like more like kind of like late teen, like right turning in their 20s, like that. Nothing like younger.
I mean, that's how you would probably imagine that this would be, because they're probably thinking like, let's do a few of these movies, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if Cavill was the bad guy, which I think might be kind of fun for him, which might be why he said yes. But he also is like me, he's a nerd, so maybe he was like, Voltron, sign me up. They took Superman away from me, give me a lion,
Well, I definitely don't think we'll get a teaser for that, because what I've heard, this is going straight to streaming now.
Oh, is it? I didn't hear that.
That's what I heard, that this is not going to go to theaters and it's going to go straight to streaming.
They didn't like the dailies, I guess.
Guess not. But yeah, Spider-Man brand new day teaser would be cool. But I have money on there'll be a teaser for the Odyssey. Whether or not they show footage, I mean, they have tons of footage because they've shot. Been shooting for months now, so I could see them have a teaser in front of Jurassic World. So we'll see.
Nolan's awesome. So I can tell you right now, teaser sight unseen, I'm there.
He's definitely one where you're just watching his movies in theaters no matter what.
Yep, exactly.
All right, well, that's it. Thanks for listening. Let us know in the poll which of these movies you'll be catching in theaters or streaming or whatnot. So
yeah, who's gonna watch Baby Predators? Who's gonna watch Eyeball form together? Like, there's lots of stuff coming up. Who's gonna watch?
Yeah, lots of stuff. All right, cool. Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you. See you next time.
Later.